On this week's episode, we are in Scotland. We look at some castles, photograph some ferries in Skye, drink some scotch, and locate the Loch Ness Monster. We just landed in Glasgow and now we're driving north. We've basically spent the last hour looking at views like this. We got 2.5 hours to go before we get to Skye. Also, the roads are really tight and there's lots of logging trucks, and it's a challenging drive, but very nice drive. Down in Wales there is this place called the Mock Loop, which is basically an RAF jet fighter training ground. And there's also one kind of in this district here in Scotland. And we were just driving along the road here and we saw fighter jets basically at the same level we were out on the road, bombing along. The problem with this is that it's so uncertain. Even if you are at the Mock Loop that has lots of traffic every day, you never know what you're going to see or when you're going to see it. There are posted times, but the posted times, they don't really actually apply. So maybe we're going to ask somebody kind of what the deal is here, because I would like to get some pictures of some fighter jets. Been here for quite some time and still no planes. Tim asked some people and they said that they've seen 2 planes all day, which are probably the same 2 planes we saw while we were driving. So things aren't looking so good. I think if you want to photograph fighter jets, you have to go to the Mock Loop. There's a lot of information online about it. It's a really cool spot. We came across this castle on the way to our Airbnb and decided to do a few long exposures to kind of smooth the water out. Basically, all you do is you put that 10-stop ND on, set a timer so that when you hit the button, you don't shake, and turns the water into glass when you get that 30-second exposure. It looks medium glass right now. There's not a whole lot of movement in the water. All right, we're out here at the castle. Came here for twilight, which is, I think, the best time to do something like this, where the lights kind of balance with the rest of the scene. Just trying a bunch of different angles to see what kind of feels best. You can't really get any reflections off the water because there's a lot of grass and stuff out there, so that's kind of unfortunate. Here is pretty good, but I think that the bridge over there is going to be even better. So we're going to do a few shots here and then just head over there before we lose all the light entirely. But yeah, very cool scene we have here today. We're here at Airbnb and Madge is cooking us a traditional Scottish breakfast. We didn't really ask for clarification of what that was, so I'm sure it'll be good. I'm excited. I'm not really sure what all of this is, but it all looks delicious. It smells great. Probably not for a vegetarian though. We then headed off to the Isle of Skye. We are here in Skye. Drive-in has been amazing so far. I understand why it is at the top of a lot of landscape photographers' lists. Definitely worth it to wake up a little bit earlier. We missed sunrise. I'm not too sad about it because it's a little bit cloudy today, but apparently the weather here just kind of changes minute by minute, so we might see some snow and some hail and some cloudy and some sun. Maybe we'll go to the beach and then we'll go skiing today. Who knows? Here on Skye. I dropped my camera and it was a positive drop because there was a piece of sensor dust that was showing up on all the photos right at the top, and I couldn't get it out without actually taking my camera in to go get cleaned. But then it fell off the seat in the car, and now that piece of sensor dust is gone. So my tip of the day, if you see any little dust spots on any of your pictures, just drop your camera and problem solved. Let's go take some pictures at a ferry pool. We just drove down the road and we ended up here at the ferry pools. Did a lot of long exposures, 10-15 second exposures to get the nice blurred waterfall. We're basically on this island for one day, which is not enough time. Driving around here, we could stop in so many different spots. Every bridge is a picture, every lake, every mountain. You can do something with pretty much everything here. Even this stuff right here is a picture. Unfortunately, we have to get to Iverness, so we're gonna grab this shot and then we're gonna head 2 hours and 45 minutes towards Loch Ness and hopefully get on a boat. First, you need to start with the fake monster, which we found at the Clansman Hotel here at Loch Ness. Next, we are going on a cruise on Loch Ness to get the In the Wild photo. Our boat is arriving right now, and we'll be getting, I assume it'll be an out of focus photo. The goal for it is to pretend like we saw it and I didn't have my camera ready and I picked it up and I was like zooming or doing something to make it out of focus, because if it's a crisp photo, obviously people are going to analyze every detail, whereas if it's a little bit out of focus, people are just going to believe it. So this is us making our Loch Ness Monster photo. Our photos are going to have this castle in it for authenticity, and I'm going to shoot a sequence. I'm going to shoot 2 frames to look like I pulled my camera up to try to get the shot, missed it twice, and I'm going to do 2 different looks for Nessie. Today we're out here on the Malt Whiskey Trail, headed to the Glenlivet. Past some pretty cool distilleries on the way up here already. We don't know a whole lot about Scotch and whiskey, so we're excited to learn a little bit about that. And what better place to learn about Scotch and whiskey than here in Scotland. I'm bringing the 20. I don't know if that's going to be a good or bad decision, but we're going to find out. I think there's a lot of cool stuff, so I think the 20 is good. It's also 1.8, so that means that I can let lots of light in if we're anywhere, like inside these warehouses over here. Now let's go do the tour. I've decided almost immediately that the 20 was the incorrect decision for this tour, so now I'm switching to the 45 tilt shift because I don't have a 50 prime, so I have to walk around with this ridiculous looking thing.
I think it's important when you're photographing to photograph with a purpose. Today I wasn't really photographing with a purpose, so I didn't really end up enjoying any of the photos that I took, but I did enjoy the tour, so there's that, I guess.
It tastes like all the things I'm allergic to. Barley, yeast. It's really good though. The Glenlivet tour was great. Now we're eating baked potatoes in their coffee shop, so 10 out of 10. No photos from the tour though, but we're gonna drive around the property and maybe grab some photos of some things. I feel kind of strange just holding this chip out here. The plan for the day is basically to just drive around, and if we see anything really cool, we stop and take some pictures. We have another 3.5 hours of driving, so I'm sure we're gonna come across a lot of great stuff. I think the less that you can plan coming here, kind of the better. Have a few key spots in mind, but just be open to whatever happens. One of the cool things with renting your own car and driving yourself around is that you get to come to places when there's no one around. If you're on a bus tour, you're basically confined to the worst times of day to come to places to take pictures. But when you drive yourself around, we can be here, and there's only one tour bus out here. This is a very popular spot. So I'm thankful for that we can wander around, and it's calm, relaxing out here. Lots of bugs again. Really missed the bugs, and glad that we have them back now.
There's obviously a lot that we could not cover given that we were in Scotland for such a short period of time. Here are my tips for traveling in Scotland. Rent a car, expect good weather, expect bad weather, photograph your favorite cryptozoology creature to impress your friends, and above all else, keep your plans open. This place will surprise you.